Hi, this is Justine, and today is day 2 of my 12 days of Greene Christmas stories. If you are unfamiliar, then pop back a day and you'll get the introduction and explanation for the 12 days of Greene Christmas stories and why I'm doing this year. So, for today's story, I decided that I was going to tell you a story mostly about mom, but since I'm still kind of thinking about gifts and gifts that dad gave. I decided I would tell you about one that dad gave to my mom and I one year, based on, again, thinking of Christmas traditions also. Mom and I, for many, many years, when I was a little girl, well, not too terribly little, uh, once I had gotten to that age where I became Santa's helper because I am the oldest of the three Greene children, and Santa needed a helper because Santa had uh, three children that Santa was delivering to. So once two of those children were in bed, Santa's helper had to come start helping Santa. Tradition became that I got to watch the second play of the Nutcracker Suite on the public channel with my mom while she and I wrapped family presents. And it became one of our favorite things to do every Christmas Eve. And it that just continued for years and years, and it was something that we bonded over, and we talked about music, we talked about Christmas, and we talked about family, and just so many things. And of course, each year as I got older, our conversations changed and grew in depth and complexity. And not too many years later, Janine also became one of Santa's helpers, and Janine got to join the mix, and she wasn't nearly as interested in Nutcracker Suite as I was, and perhaps that had something to do with the fact that I had that initial attachment to the Nutcracker Suite because it was something that Mom and I did from the point where I want to say I was about, yeah, I guess I was about 9 when I officially became, no, I guess I was 8. I was 8, going, yeah, 8.5, going on 9. It was right before my 9th birthday, the Christmas before my 9th birthday, that I became officially Santa's helper. So that was when that tradition started. And maybe that's why I became so attached to it. And to this day, love the Nutcracker and love the Nutcracker Suite, and have actually played it. Played clarinet, played bass clarinet, and have even played a jazz version of some of it. So, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway, that goes back to something that Mom and I did, and that was a tradition that Mom and I had, was the Nutcracker Suite every Christmas Eve, and when I was an adult and wasn't even living with my parents any longer, would go over to their house on Christmas Eve, and the Nutcracker Suite was anywhere to be found on TV, one of us was sure to turn it on, even if other things were going on in the house. We made a point of making sure that one of us had the Nutcracker Suite turned on, so that we could walk in at important points, and especially when the Sugar Plum Fairy would come out and dance with her prince, things like that. But aside from that, now that you have that background about why this was something that was important to Mom and I, one year, I want to say I was about 24, 25 years old. My dad decided that he was going to surprise Mom and I, and he got tickets for she and I to see the Nutcracker Ballet here in Orlando. The Orlando Ballet put it on here in, well, not here, I live in Eustis now, but in Orlando, where the Orlando Ballet is, ironically enough. Uh, and he was so thrilled that he was able to get these tickets for us, and they were wonderful seats. And he made a point of in addition to the tickets, he had gone and gotten us a gift certificate, because this was back in the day when gift certificates really still were gift certificates, uh, for nearby restaurant. So I drove us out, and she and I had dinner together before the show, and it was wonderful, and we had so much fun. And I had taken the day off of work, and so had she. So we didn't have to rush. We spent the afternoon together, and it just turned into this wonderful Nutcracker day. And it was all inspired by Dad giving us these tickets as an early Christmas gift. And then so we went out and we had this wonderful meal, and we got to the show, and we're so excited. And we got in there, and the prima ballerina was canceled, and her stand-in for the Sugar Plum Fairy was going to be in. And we were like, oh, well, okay. And then at the last minute, they announced, oh, the little girl that was supposed to dance Clara, she apparently twisted her ankle during warm-ups, literally right before the show was supposed to start, and so her stand-in was going to dance. Oh, alright, well, I'm sure it's still going to be wonderful. And the show started, and by intermission, Mom and I were just dazed almost with boredom and just our utter lack of interest in this production of Nutcracker. And the only thing we could really, really put our opinion heartily behind was that it was probably the worst production of the Nutcracker that we had ever seen. And we had no interest in remaining to see the second half of the Nutcracker Suite. So she looked at me kind of guiltily, and I looked at her, and at the same time said, let's leave. And it was just one of those really funny things, because it was unplanned. It should have been in a sitcom or something, because we really were. The timing was perfect. The words were right together. Let's leave. So that's what we did. We left at intermission. And I drove us to a nearby Denny's, and we spent the rest of what should have been the second half of the show sitting at Denny's, and we had sundaes and sat there discussing what each of us still had to do for our individual Christmas shopping lists, and my job and her job, and agreeing that no matter what, when we got home, because we stayed at Denny's through the length of time that was necessary to adequately cover the rest of the show, when we got home, we assured my father, upside down and sideways, that it was the best production of Nutcracker we had ever seen, thanked him profusely for the tickets, and assured him that it was one of the best evenings that she and I had ever had together. That part right there was entirely true. It was one of the best evenings that she and I had ever had together. And probably the evening that almost definitively changed our relationship from mother-daughter to best friends. So, even though my dad never found out that we never finished the Nutcracker Suite, Mom and I, for the rest of her life and Dad's life, assured him whenever he mentioned it that we treasured our memories of that production of Nutcracker Suite, because he couldn't have given us a better gift for Christmas that year. Because that was the year, that was the night that my mom and I became best friends. So, that is day 2 of my 12 days of Greene Christmas stories. And I do apologize for being a little bit late today, but few other things, health, seizures, stuff like that, kind of interrupted me. So I will be back. I won't say same bat time, same bat channel, because I don't know about the same time, but same bat channel tomorrow with day 3. And to anyone that actually is still here watching, listening, thanks, appreciate it, and have a lovely evening. Bye.